We are with Samarth Bajaj, the founder of Boheim, a brand that speaks of global Indian luxury living. And now you're venturing into designing designer homes with Kunal Rawal, of course. And we have Kunal Rawal, who's carved a niche for himself in the fashion industry. So, welcome. And Kunal, at your recent showcase at the FDCI India Couture Week, you also presented the idea of Boheim. So, tell us about your collaboration.
Yes, well, at India Couture Week, we tried to give a glimpse of what we are working with Boheim on.
Right.
It's our first commercial project in real estate. It is a project that we're working on in Goa. It's a project that's very, very dear to me. Uh, Samarth is somebody who's very, very close to me. I've seen him and his journey the same way he's seen mine over the past decade. And there's such strong synergies in what we believe in as a brand and as a label with what he's trying to put out there with Boheim. So honestly, I couldn't have found a better partner.
Right. Samarth, you tell me, luxury homes is where real estate sector is making big waves currently, but designer homes is a very new concept. So, what is the concept about, and how did you conceive it?
Um, so branded buildings is a concept that's existed for about 20 plus years now in the West, right? It's also expanding to Asia, where Dubai is doing a lot of work in branded buildings, but it's a concept that's new to India. And it's the first time that indigenous Indian designers are doing branded homes, right? And I think that they have such an interesting aesthetic sensibility that they've already brought to spaces that are personal to them. They've brought that sensibility to their offices, to the homes that they live in, and also to spaces that they curate. I think it was about time that we created a whole industry where indigenous Indian celebrated fashion designers were brought into the real estate space and created our own branded building industry. That's what we aim to do at Boheim. And for us, versatility of design is very much a part of our ethos. We don't want to be cookie cutter, right? So someone like Kunal comes in with such a fresh perspective that he brings to a design space, and they are used to seeing the bigger picture. They're used to seeing to providing people with luxury, right? They actually don't only sell a garment; it's a story that they're selling to a groom, and that's something. It's a story that you pass down from generation to generation about what that piece meant to that groom, right? And when you're used to telling stories, and when you're used to presenting those stories in artwork and aesthetically, you bring a very fresh perspective into design. Also, they're not bounded by education, in the sense that a highly educated interior designer is functions within certain boundaries of what they've studied. When you're not bounded by what you've studied, you think out of the box automatically. So you bring in such a fresh perspective, and they're already very aspirational figures in the Indian landscape. So I think it was about time someone brought them into the space of real estate to provide something very unique to the aspirational Indian consumer, and we're glad that we were the first ones to think about it.
Right. Kunal, now that you've ventured into designing spaces, what's next on the cards? Do you also plan to do something of your own, maybe into interiors or something?
For now, I'm, like Samant said, just taking on from that. We as creators are used to not only seeing the garment, but seeing everything around the garment, where the garment sits. We're used to not only designing, we design and style the garment. But like when you're creating it, but not only that, we're all used to seeing the entire picture, the room it's going to be in, the chair you're going to be sitting on, what are the colors of the lights that are going to be around the garment, how you're going to shoot it. So this is just an extension of that. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Like Samad said, we've worked on our spaces, our retail spaces with Rushad Straw. So we've co-designed all our retail stores, we've designed our office space, we've designed our homes. So this is our first commercial project. We have been wanting to venture into this world. We are launching a fragrance and a candle this Diwali. But except that, our only commercial project is with Boheim.
Samarth, tell me how about expanding apart from Goa and what investment has gone into the project so far?
So we are already building stuff in Alibag, Goa, and Hyderabad. These are the three markets that we are already active in. We have about 10 projects that are ongoing under the brand. From an investment perspective, different projects come with different investments. Certain projects we've had to buy the land, so there's an investment into the land. Certain projects are on joint development, so it's more kind of a joint venture with landowners. So each kind of project comes with its own kind of financial projections and financial requirements. But Touchwood, we've been fortunate enough to have quick sales, which is allowed us to do more work. So in a span of around about 2.5 years now of the brand having been created, we have managed to expand to close to 10 projects that will be holistically delivered starting from this year end. Is when our first project will be delivered. Within the next 3 years, all these 10 projects will be delivered.
Okay, what about expanding outside India?
Yeah, so Boheim is ambitious. Boheim and I both are very ambitious, right? My passion is to take the India story global. That's why we define Boheim as a global Indian luxury living brand, right? We've already started researching new markets in advanced stage of negotiations in certain markets. So Dubai is the first kind of international market that we look to expand to. Dubai is also, I call it the Goa of the world, right? All eyeballs from the globe are on Dubai. So if you establish in Dubai, you've established globally, according to me. Another market that I'm very strongly researching that has huge potential is Africa. Very interesting things happening real estate wise. High demand, not too much supply. Would be good to be early movers in Africa. And Sri Lanka and Thailand. These are the four main markets we're looking at. London has been is very high on personal aspiration for me, for Kunal, for a lot of people that I know. So we would love to do something in London, yet to kind of research that market. But personally, that's a market I find very aspirational and would love to have a Boheim building in London.
Right. Kunal, you're married to Arpita Mehta, who's also a designer. So, how is it being married to each other, being designers? Do you have discussions on designs, on your collections, on her collections? Do you have disagreements, or do you plan to launch a line together someday?
No plans to launch a line together right now. For now, we are both very competitive. I am interested in my world, she's interested in her world. That being said, it's very exciting to have a bouncing board when it comes to somebody working in the same industry, literally in your room. You know, in my house, I'm used to working with my sister, with my father. They're both involved with the company, and we are only thinking work, talking work. So it's good to have someone like Arpita, a creative force, handling and creatively managing her label, uh, become a good bouncing board for me. So yeah, it's a house that's high on design conversations, and
Okay.
it's a house that's working a lot. So that's good.
Right. Samarth, what about localizing the designs wherever you go? As designer, you can also tell that this you are in Goa right now. So as you go into each market, each city, do you also plan to bring something of that city into your design?
Um, yes. So the way I look at this is that when we actually look at real estate, not so much about the local market, but India to me is local, right? The India story needs to be local, and real estate actually has a beautiful India story that's not told as yet. Any project that you do in real estate across the country actually requires the work of artisans that are pan India. Your tile layers your best tile layers come from Rajasthan. Some of your best hand painters come from Coimbatore. You get your artisans where we're doing bamboo shingles instead of doing terracotta shingles. These bamboo shingles are manufactured in Kunals, which is on the border of Maharashtra and Goa. The bamboo actually comes from farms in Assam, right? So in everything that you do in real estate, you're actually pan India automatically, right? So that is what I'm more passionate about, is taking this craftsmanship that India has to offer and taking it to many markets within India and also taking it to many markets globally. That's how we want to take the India story global. We take indigenous, celebrated Indian designers to the global market. We want to take highly skilled Indian craftsmen to the market. When it comes to localization of design, there are certain markets that definitely provide you with a very interesting aesthetic, Goa being one of them. Goan architecture, we call it Portuguese architecture, but it's actually highly, highly inspired by the Goan locals that lived there. Right, there's a whole the Goan architecture actually evolved post the 1800s, and it was the local Goan public there that defined Goan architecture. You won't find this architecture even in Portugal, right? So it's very exclusive to Goa. So that is something that we do incorporate in our own way into the designs that we build in Goa, and how we make them fresh and how we make them ours is something that even the designers that we collaborate with bring in. And luckily, Kunal also has quite a passion for Goa and its architecture that we've spoken about.
Yeah, if I could, sorry, if I could add to that is, I think that's where the synergies are so strong with us and Boheim, is this obsession with the India story. We both believe in the beauty of made by hand. And that's something that India has, the crafts that India has to offer is just insane. I just find it, I find it like it makes me so grateful. The fact that we are a designer or a design house coming from India, just for the fact that we are from India, we inherit so much culture, so much heritage, such crafts, and such exciting labor by hand. So that is one thing that we have a strong synergy with Boheim on, and the second one being obsessed with product. This product obsession is something we've had for very very long, and that's what I see in Boheim and I see in Samarth also. So super excited to see what comes out of it.
So
I think going forward, taking this a little ahead also, we both have an obsession with telling stories. It's a product that becomes a part of your family's story, right? It's a home that you will be talking about, that you will be creating memories in. It's a home that you'll want your children to retain and not just flip. It's a piece of garment that he makes that a father would want to pass down to his son. All this while, we've seen mothers pass down their wedding outfits to their daughters. We've not seen fathers pass down their wedding outfits to their sons, but I think they're creating stories where that can happen. So when you create something with passion, your consumer sees the passion that has been created, and everyone that has purchased whatever they purchased with us so far have wanted to retain those spaces and retain those spaces as spaces that they want to live in and not just investments. And I think that's one of the biggest kind of compliments that we could get.
Right, but are you also collaborating beyond Goa into other cities as well?
It's wherever we would have the honor of Kunal saying yes to us is where we will love for him to come with us.
For now, we both are starting with Goa, and we would love to do a lot more in Goa. But yeah, let's see where this collaboration takes us.
I think Goa in itself has so much to offer, and it's such an exciting market right now. And it's the one market in India where everyone from India looks to buy in, right? So there's so much to do in India alone, in Goa alone, that we want to make sure that we do that efficiently and properly first before we branch.
And we both strongly believe in the power of young India. We both believe that young India is far more progressive than the youth of the strongest first world nations. So that is an obsession with both of us, and that I think would lend itself to a few more projects together for sure.
Right. What kind of research went into the Goa project? As a designer, you can tell your story.
There is so much, but for me, it's something that is very instinctive. It's about, I believe a lot in the fact that young India today lives very differently compared to how in India we used to live maybe a decade or a little bit more before that. So we all are suckers for comfort, but there is a very strong sort of nomadic life. So we're all looking for different homes at different points. Like for us, we're in Delhi for the last week, 10 days. This space is our home now. So having elements that are uh, functional uh, is a very big factor for me. Now, talking about the Goa project, there's a lot of R&D that goes into it. A lot of R&D that's not technical R&D. For me, it's a little bit more instinctive. Uh, the idea of combining what label Kunal Rawal is all about, uh, converging that with the ethos of Boheim, and bringing it all together into a space in Goa, something both the brands love, a space both the brands love immensely. It requires that kind of R&D. It requires you to go into what is the Portuguese architecture or the Goan architecture that Samarth was talking about. To us, these unique aesthetics are of great, immense value. For us, we are a Bombay-based label. Uh, we love the Bombay Art Deco that comes with. It's again very unique to Bombay. Exactly how the Goan architecture is so unique to Goa, and you don't see it anywhere else in the world. It requires a great amount of R&D, so we have been on that, and you will see uh, installations coming out of this research in our
Okay.
first project.
Samar, you have more designers on board. You have Gauri Khan and Abu Jani and Sandeep Khosla. So, what are their individual contributions to this project? And will they be designing more projects of yours, or are you in talks with more designers to be involved?
Um, so the contribution of any designer to the project that they are designing for us is pretty much from start to finish, right? They are aesthetically involved and also technically involved in every element of what we do and the project that they design, right?
Right.
From designing the facades to different elements of the community to creating interior design looks to also being very involved in the flow of the interior design planning, not just aesthetically, but also how a space should flow into another space, what a space's dimension should be like. They're very involved in all of it. And they're very passionately involved in all of it, right? It's not done just as another project. It's done more through passion, and that's an ethos that has been common amongst the three designers that we have on board. It's all passion driven, and that shows in the work that's happening. Currently, who we have on board is Gauri, Abu Sandeep, and Kunal, and I think we're fortunate enough to just have these three stalwarts on board with us,
Right.
and we're happy with having them on.
Yeah, talking about your fashion, it speaks of inclusivity, gender fluidity, and you also showcased that at the recent the India Couture Week. But do you think we are doing enough for the cause, or do designers sometimes tend to go overboard, or do they, are not doing enough? What's your thought on that?
I feel everybody is trying to be as inclusive as they can and as much as they can at different levels. Everyone has a different take and a different perspective to it.
Right.
So for us, we believe in uh, a very gender fluid world. It's very important that we represent our consumer that we are catering to in stores has to be represented on our shows, our runways, our campaigns, and things like that. It's not. It just comes from a place of authenticity. Uh, it's not trying to be anything. Is when we work on casting for our shows, these are the people that I genuinely aspire to be. These are the personalities I love to dress. So that's the reason I put them on the most premium platform for the brand, which is our runway. So yeah, that's the reason why we have such an inclusive casting usually, because I believe it's these are the strong personalities of today, and these are the people I am grateful to dress, and that's what I like to show on the runway.
So, for those who don't know, you both are related. Samarth is
Yes.
married to Kunal's sister.
Yes.
So, did you design something for the wedding? Of course, you might have. And did the wedding give you cue to do something together?
His wedding or my wedding?
His wedding.
His
Because
wedding.
he's married to your
They
sister.
had a child marriage. They got married very very young.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please
so
think.
I got married almost 9 years back.
Oh.
So it's been
okay.
a long time.
Not
since
literally child marriage, but I
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
joking with
yeah.
them.
We were
saying
young
that it
when we
was
got married.
very very young.
We were young when we got married, so it's been a long time since we've been married. But yes, Kunal did design one outfit for my wedding and one for my roka as well.
Oh, wow.
So there were two outfits that were designed for me.
And
which
from
is
there, the love grew. From there, the love grew. We,
The love was
we
actually no.
remarried.
The love was there from before. I knew Kunal before I knew Sasha. And I've been a consumer of Kunal's clothes from his very first brand, which was De-Stress. He made some of the coolest shirts and t-shirts that I've ever seen. Nationally, internationally, everything combined, they were really, really cool products. And I think I bought my first Kunal product about 17, 18 years back.
Okay.
And I still own those t-shirts. They're still very wearable and they're in perfect condition. Right? I still wear them and roam around. Luckily, I'm still the size that I can wear them and roam around, so I fit into them. And I love those products.
Isn't that how you met Sasha also?
That is
And
also how I met Sasha.
Yeah.
I met Sasha when I was buying something in Kunal's store.
Okay.
So that's how I met Sasha. So I've been a fan of him and his work for a very long time. And it was great to have him design something for the wedding and then to become family. But we are not collaborating because we are family. We're collaborating because we have multiple synergies in our vision for design, in our vision for India. I think we're both very ambitious people. We're very passionate about the India story, very inspired by the Indian consumer, but we're very committed to that journey.
Right.
And I think that's the whole reason why this collaboration works as well as I hope it does.
Samarth was talking about uh, having homes that can be passed on generationally. It's not just an investment. So it's the same thought. Being a creative from India today, it's a big responsibility to take this story ahead. And I'm so glad I found someone like him having the same sort of thoughts and having synergies on this, because for us it is a responsibility to create homes of the future, to create homes for the future of the future.
Right.
So you will see all of that and more in Finca Sagrada.
Okay, on that note, we would like to end it here, and congratulations to you both on the new line, and we hope we get to see more of your collaboration.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. It's been great chatting.
Thank you.
Yes.